7.
No, we're pretty much good. We're good. Hold on. I'm just
All
gonna
right,
switch
we're going.
one thing.
What's
You're
up?
gonna have to deal with the music or suck my dick. I am gonna beat Ben Franklin. You know that, right? I appreciate the balls that you have, thinking that like you can come in here and challenge Master Beethoven. Like, I love you. Who are you? Who are so wise in the ways of science?
You know who I am. Don't play games.
I am the smartest. Wait, what is it? The smartest least guarded, least cathartic, least guarded, smartest artist with a TARDIS. I'm Doctor Who. The fuck are you people?
I'm traveling through time. I have a TARDIS too.
This isn't Destiny. Time is travel. Your whole philosophy is unraveling. You're on the show with a guy named Dr. Philosophy, and I don't think you're prepared.
I also have a TARDIS.
I think you're like a prepare. You're some kind of prepare head. I have to say words that I think of that are new. It's a compulsion. It's called a psychosis. A what?
A retardist.
Doctor Who says.
What?
No, she says who. This is. I forgot. It was from a real life encounter. I'm sorry. It's in previous records. Hold on. I gotta fix something here. Fuck. So on a look at my screen. My screen is fucked.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a prison is my city?
I mean, it's not literally a prison. It just has some of the aspects of a prison. Hold on. Oh, I know why. Because I have 9. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix my shit, dude. I'm more interested in myself than you. Like, I'm fucking American. What are you, serious? Hold on. Like, I give a fuck about you.
I just made a blueprint that doesn't even have walls or windows connecting it to the rest of the city. So you can, like, shout and the people on the road can hear you. You can shout from your living room. And the people traveling down the road can hear you shouting because there's no walls. Because there's no weather. So that if there's
because you control me. Because you control me.
If there's no weather, you don't need walls. You don't need windows. You don't need roofs. You don't need siding. So your living room is connected directly, seamlessly, to the road system, to the outside world, to potentially restaurants and hairstylists and babysitting
What the fuck are you
locations.
Talking about? It's like, yeah, like my audience
we have designated loitering areas in the city. There's areas that are legally designated just for loitering.
Sure, my audience has no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Does that sound like a prison to you?
Oh, yeah.
Get that off my live stream. Get that off my live stream.
No, it's not copyrighted.
It's too loud, too.
I'll fix it. Hold on. But you're just talking about some shit we didn't even start yet, and you're talking about some...
I told you we started.
Crazy stuff.
You haven't given me a number 1 through 10.
Okay, I do 0 to 10 to make it interesting, and which is good. A 10 is bad, and a 0 means it's a completely free space. It's a lot like a prison. Compared to every single living space I've ever imagined creating, it's like a prison. Like, it's a 10 compared to everything I've ever worked on.
So you can see Alex's window behind him?
Literally a prison.
You can see Yoduh Vinci's window behind him, and his window is covered up, voluntarily covered.
I don't know what he's talking about. You can't say anything. There we go. Now that's what you're supposed to show, you fucking...
Your window is voluntarily covered.
No, you gotta show my whole screen. You don't know how to record shit, dude. You are.
I'm live streaming this to YouTube right now.
I know, because you're thirsty as fuck, and you came to the guy who operates according to thirst principles. Like I'm your first principle.
I just got my first webcam. I could have 3 more and compete with you in a matter of
Listen, I am
days.
I am the king Arthur. Wait. I'm King Arthur from Web Camelot, so welcome.
I'm getting 4 more webcams in the mail right now, and I'm gonna have 5 webcams on Discord.
You look like Snape. Or is it Snape? You look like that guy from fucking Harry Potter. That evil fuck played by that one actor with the long black hair. Remember him?
Yeah, I kinda do, don't I?
You disgust me. And I don't care if you diss and cuss me, as long as you fucking disgust me. You disgust me.
I discuss you?
You don't have sufficient disgusto. You have not learned that if you're gonna diss, you have to diss respectfully. Let's agree to diss. Agree. You say agree. See this guy? He's
I agree.
Not too. Let's agree to diss.
Yeah. So
No,
let's say
no,
what else?
no, you didn't. The AI does not accept that shit. Let's agree to diss.
I agree.
You can't say I agree. The saying is not, let's agree to diss. I agree. The ideopoly is, let's agree to diss. That's how you start the game. Let's agree to diss. Agree. Let's agree to diss.
Agree.
Finally. Oh my god, retards. Sorry, I've been canceled, so it's coming out.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to tell on you for that.
I should get you a YouTube strike for this fucking video.
So, what would you do
I love
to
the
make
Jews,
the
by
city
the way.
better?
And I'm serious, but the algorithm doesn't know. What?
What would you do or change to make the city better?
Yours? I would turn it into a fucking substrate of a version of space scrapers of Catan. Like I would turn it into a board game that can expand infinitely by tessellation, and then worry about like what people build up in their little battle mech recreations or their just games that they play on your board.
How do
I wouldn't
people
try to
live
build a
inside
fucking
of a board
city
game?
out of a prison.
How do
Okay,
people live inside
build
of a board
one
game?
and let ants live in it, or build one and let mice live in it, and see how the
So-
fucking mice like it.
Your solution is an ant farm.
Yeah, or a mouse farm.
You watched my Kowloon City. What did you think when they said that people loved it and people protested when it was destroyed?
People said it's fucking horrible, but I have fond memories now that I've escaped. That's what they. Now that I'm not there, I can kind of, especially because now I'm on camera and you're giving me donuts and coffee for free, and I'm poor. I have better feelings about Kowloon City. It's insane. Like it's interesting to look at for a minute.
Who is giving
It's
people
a terrible,
donuts?
terrible place. The people that were talking to the people, right? The interviews that were being done, part of the reason people were happier during those interviews is because they were being paid attention to and given donuts.
What's your source
I mean, whatever
for
the Chinese
this?
people, I don't know how you say donut in Chinese.
What's your source for this bullshit claim?
I'm just making it up.
I know you are. That's why it's mentioned.
I mean, I know I am
So,
too, though, so like...
My
touche.
city will have 10 times the internal volume per capita of Kowloon.
What do you mean, my city? That sounds fucking crazy. What
It
do you
is
mean?
my city.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, who's
You own a
who's
city?
bringing it
Like, what are
into
you saying?
fruition?
You're gonna bring a city into fruition. How?
How? With
How
my
do you do
mind
that?
and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
words.
Okay, so like, what is the next what does your right hand man do? Like, what does the next person do? Because you've designed everything already. Like, you know how much air conditioning costs. So, like, what do they do? Just live cheap and prosper?
So the next step is to join the Discord server, and then we can manipulate algorithms to get on the front page of Reddit. Not the front page of Reddit, but the front page of some
Manipulate
subreddits.
algorithms. Not good. Reddit. Not
Reddit.
great.
Yeah,
I mean,
Reddit's
Reddit's
not
fine.
great,
Reddit
but-
is the murder of eternity by some clever people and a lot of, more sheepish people. Karma, right? You get karma. It's great. Karma.
So, if you go viral on a medium-sized subreddit one time, you can get like 3,000 to 5,000 views. And then if those people, and you can start a conversation too. And then all of
If
those
you have
people,
a-
if they share it once, then you're talking about like 15,000 views.
Yeah, but you don't even understand peer-to-pyramid scheming. You certainly don't understand Shakespeare to pyramid scheming, so how are you going to do that? Like, you've never even mentioned any of the necessary ideas.
I need to start.
You can't just get people... If you have a video that's good enough to build a city, or if you have a narrative that's good enough to build a city, you're not going to get like... I understand you're saying 5,000, blah, 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 blah. You got to go extremely viral. And the problem is most people don't want to live there. Like, in your case, even less people want to live there than want to live in my cities, or my universities, so... You have like maybe 1 in 160,000 humans wants to live there, which is enough to build one. But how do you go viral when only 1 in 160,000 people wants to live in your city? Like for me, it's 1 in 8,000, and it's still hard as fuck because when you build something really specific, the more specific you get, the smaller the number of people that are going to bond with it and be able to develop consensus. I wasn't done talking.
It's an entire format of constructing cities. It's an entirely new format of constructing cities. It has always existed. It will always exist as an idea, as a concept. Just because it's new, just because no one else has done it, doesn't mean it's unpopular. Just because it doesn't currently exist doesn't mean it's unpopular. Doesn't mean people won't enjoy it. You're assuming people will hate it just because no one's done it.
No, some people would, but very few people want a tiny, super cheap apartment to avoid a commute. Some people like listening to music and podcasts on their commute. People don't want to like stay in. From what I know, most people don't want to stay.
The apartments are bigger than yours, dude. People have like 8,000 square feet.
What are you talking about?
Have you watched my videos? The apartments are like 8,000 square feet.
That's insane.
I just made a video of an apartment that's 14,000 square feet.
That's insane. That's another insane thing. A 14,000 square foot apartment for what? My apartment's way too big for what I need. I would love to have a private rooftop deck, true, but I'm in Buffalo and usually they do slanted roofs that can't change. But like, I have way too much space. And how big is my apartment? Like, it's way too much.
Yours is probably what are you doing? Like 1,400 or something.
You're talking 8,000. I think you're talking 8,000 cubic feet, maybe. Like, what are you talking? Like 14,000 cubic feet?
No.
Like, what are you gonna do? You're talking 100. An apartment that's 1,400 feet long and 1 foot wide. How do you even like?
You're not very good at math, are you?
You said what? 14,000.
10 by 10 room is 100 square feet. A 20 by 20.
Okay, I'm sorry. 1,400 foot long apartment. That's 10 feet wide. The numbers are so insane. I got confused myself. Like, you're talking an apartment that's 140 feet long and 10 feet deep, and the whole front of it is glass windows. It's just like a wall. I mean, God, if you can give me a 140 foot long apartment with my own private rooftop deck, and the entire front of it can open as a drawbridge, yeah, okay. Out in nature, fine. I'll take that 140 by 10 foot fucking thing that you built. But, like, who lives in 100? Like, your whole point is efficiency, isn't it? Like, who lives in that apartment? And what do they do? And why are you wasting all that space? I don't get it.
I have extra space because the city is three-dimensional. I have all of the space I could possibly use because I'm using all of the airspace. I'm using 100% of the airspace.
But nobody does anything with airspace. Like up to
exactly.
Up to like 13 foot,
that's exactly my point. No one does anything with airspace right now. They don't.
People in giant mansions generally limit their roof height to something that's comfortable for humans. Like,
I'm talking about the airspace above your building, above your house. All of that airspace is now being utilized to its fullest extent.
It's not. What are you talking about?
In arcology. In arcology does.
It doesn't.
Yes,
you
it
have
does.
things on top of
what
it.
I'm telling you right now, the apartment I'm describing to you right now would be 100 feet above your roof. It would exist 200 feet above your roof. That's how arcology works.
But why? Nobody.
Why? So you can walk across the city.
To go beyond like 13 feet vertical. It doesn't make up for being squeezed. Like, what's the average apartment size?
It's so you can ride your bike across the city in 3 minutes in the middle of winter. That's why.
Okay, that's a weird fucking metric. I mean, it's better than it, but I mean, so you're not going to get any exercise. I guess that's kind of like, well, whatever, fine. But what's the huge benefit of a 3-minute bike ride?
Have you heard of climate change? Have you heard of climate change? Have you heard of global warming? Have you heard of peak oil?
What does that have to do?
What does that have
peak
to do with
it?
Because you don't have a car. You don't have a car anymore.
How much oil have we already eaten? Okay,
we've burned through like 300 million years worth of oil.
48% of it is left, and all we'll need it for in the future is like some plastics and shit, and most of that will be done by like hemp and bioplastics. We have plenty of oil that has nothing to do with no one's gonna go move in a place because they think of peak oil. They're gonna think, what will my life be like? And if it's a 14,000, what does that apartment cost? Like, you just make these.
That one is like 200,000.
200,000 what?
Dollars. What do you think I'm talking about?
Rent to buy it? Like, what do you?
Yeah, to buy the apartment, $200K.
You're buying a 14,000 square foot apartment for 200 grand.
You split it with
And how,
people.
and how high is the roof on this 14,000? You're saying 14,000 square feet of the floor.
Yeah.
One level.
No, it's 3 stories.
How high are the? You're talking like.
They're 10-foot ceilings.
Like, you're talking
they're standard
4,500 or 4,500 square feet stacked 3 high. Whatever. Like, you're saying 14,000 split between 3 floors.
Yeah, 4,000 square feet times 3.
Total height of this apartment is what?
It's like 32-ish. They're 3 standard stories stacked on top of each other.
I thought you just. What about this air? Oh. What about this airspace? Like, what do you like? I mean, that's.
What are you talking about?
I thought you said these roofs the ceilings are super high or some shit. You're talking.
Yeah,
about
32 feet.
Tall.
Yeah.
Each.
No, all 3. 32 divided by 3.
Well, I mean, you're just building 3 floors. It doesn't like you're not. It's not really airspace. I mean, you're just.
Everything is
floors.
airspace, Alex. Alex, everything is airspace.
Kev, at the top of your community is some.
The
cool,
room
like,
you are
rides
in
and
right
shit.
now is airspace. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, but you're making it sound like people building stories on buildings is like when they talk about airspace. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but usually when people in the real world talk about airspace, they're talking about buildings in cities where a building is short and is gonna sell its fucking airspace to somebody else to build so they can stay within regulations. Like, you're just talking about stories. Like, that's all that means is stories of a building, right? Like, and you happen to be putting small skyscrapers right next to each other, which brings efficiency but cancels walls that would hold windows. And almost everybody in the world that I know prefers windows. Like, everybody. I mean, you could put up television screens, I guess. You can have tele-windows, maybe. But I think still only 1 in 160,000 people want that.
1 in 160,000? What's your source for that stat?
You get 10 at 1.6 million, 100 at 16 million, 1,000.
What's your source for that 100 and 160,000?
I'm just making it up, but like, you're talking about something where people are sacrificing a lot personally.
Windows. They're sacrificing
the world.
windows.
No, they're sacrificing a lot versus having a nice house. There's some economy, sure, there are some advantages to what you're talking about, but they're also sacrificing a lot to save the world, and they don't even get a paradise of any kind.
Oh,
they
so
get an
wait,
efficient place.
They're sacrificing windows, and they're only saving the world, and they're only having their
But
bills
they're not really
75%
saving
lower.
the world unless everybody does it, if your calculations are correct.
Guess
they're only
what?
saving the world.
If you don't use oil, the world can run out of oil, and you're still fine. You could have all of the oil wells dry up, and you don't have a problem because you don't have that need for that commodity. The political system could fall apart, and you're like, oh well, I don't need any oil. I have solar panels, and that's where my electricity comes from.
We're not like accelerating on some exponential curve. We're really heading in a very strong way towards some very powerful green technologies. Once we have Las Vegas, like it's all done. Once we have global hydrogen on a mega
This is a
industrial
powerful
scale,
green technology, Alex.
It is fine.
We're discussing a powerful green technology.
It is one thing you can do to squeeze
You sound.
energy.
Hold on. Let me say something. You sound like a boomer who's desperately clinging to suburbia, who's desperately clinging to Walmarts with their giant fucking parking lots, and
that's what you say.
Six lane roads, and strip malls, and this whole lifestyle. Like, you're desperately clinging. You're desperately clinging.
I am literally addressing your pitch.
You're desperately clinging to car culture and boomerism.
You're talking about
suburbia.
dude, the name of my fucking housing company is called Car Age Housing, and it's ironic as fuck. Like, none of that is true. I'd rather live in the suburbs than in that thing coming from where I come from, because my life was fucking great. in the suburbs, and I had some privacy, and I had a yard, and there weren't fucking people everywhere on top of me. They were next door on their own little property, which is not the ideal way to run the whole world, but like, you don't run the whole world. You can find some people to live in it, but I'm your friend, and I love you, and I think you're talented, and I don't want to fucking live there as it stands. I want you to make a game and make some money and see what it's like when you live in a house that you built, that you designed in Blender, and built for yourself.
We are designing a game for Arcology.
No. Who's we?
I have a game developer who loves the idea and wants to contribute to it and popularize it, and he's making a video
Objection,
game.
hearsay. But you don't ever address what I talk about the game, and I'm not even talking about a video game, but sure, like anything you do, everything I want to do in reality would probably be done in a video game first, but like, you don't address when I talk about it for years. So you talk to somebody else, you talk to a game developer about making a digital version, but you don't actually have conversations with me. Unfortunately, probably the smartest fucking person that you actually talk to on a regular basis. Unfortunately, probably.
Your behavior is unbecoming on this live stream.
I'll be coming wherever the fuck I want in my server. I come in my server every day, and I become in my server every day. I say become passionate. Don't be comfortable. I think you've become comfortable. I think you be comfortable. I become passionate. Are you gonna try to beat me? You look like Guy Fawkes. Like you're this tiny little image on my screen in the corner of one of 6 Camelot windows, and I'm on your screen. Fuck this shit. Like, put yourself full screen and be Snape. If you're gonna be Snape, let's see the crazy long hair that these women from Shiva's server want to face fuck. Let's see it. Come on. Come on.
It's long.
Mr. Handsome Face Fuck. Let's see it.
It's longer than this.
I can't. No. Go full screen. Like, I'm seeing myself like 7 times. Because
it's almost down to my nipples. Are you jealous?
You're a skilled Blender designer and you're tall and all that. You got some cool poems, but your aesthetics need work. Your screen is ass.
You're in your kitchen, bro.
The only... I love... My kitchen is fucking great. There are eyeballs in that piece of foam.
Is that your aesthetic?
For you people.
Eyeballs cut out of a piece of foam? That's your aesthetic? What are you talking about?
You fucked... I didn't... No. Those were not eyeballs before. They happened to be noticed as eyeballs later when I wanted to put it in the window. You're comparing my aesthetic. All my 6 windows beat yours. Look at my windows. Look at this. Like this window, 1900 Ideopolis. Brilliant. This window, first person overhead. Brilliant. Little. See, now when I see Kevin City, sometimes I look at my videos and I'm like, I yell at Kevin for having everything so busy. But this is not as busy as Kevin City. And look at it. And then, of course, the Jesus cam. Jesus is over here. I say save your bullshit, right? Like the hot messiah is over here. That means I'm a hot mess, and I do this a lot. Hot mess. Hot messiah. Get it?
I'm gonna get a Jesus cam that outcompetes your Jesus cam.
You can fucking burn yourself on a cross. I'd rather watch lacrosse. You're not coming across. We just disabled your video for now because you're not doing like I have all of Camelot. Like, are you even watching my stream? You fucking geek. You're looking at. Why are you looking at me?
I have the cross cam
stream. Put the stream on, or I can't write. Like, the handicap that you have is lacking Uber speed, right?
So how would you better utilize 3-dimensional airspace?
I'm not really sure what that means. I mean, I believe that when we build university campuses, the most likely geometric shape is one you love. Like, but it's more like if you go up in a hot air balloon a few hundred feet and you look down, what you'll see is a hexagon. Just like you love hexagons, right? I love hexagons. Everybody loves fucking hexagons, honestly, I think. Bees, birds, nerds, words. So there'll be a hexagon there, but that hexagon will be a piece of property, like whatever it is, it'll be a space, an open space of nature. Where the points of the hexagons are, will go some kind of a node. Some kind of, like, probably a circle. Probably a circle dug by a machine that is simplistic as fuck and just carves a yurt into the ground. Like, and we'll probably place an over-strength circular concrete foundation in the earth, capable of holding 13 stories if the city grows, and it's a little more expensive than a normal foundation, but it's not 13 times more expensive, it's like 22% more expensive. And then person lives in the fucking hole until we've built all 10,000 holes. And what goes on top of those holes is our floor. Your floors are huge hexagons. Our floors are like between 13 and 39 foot diameter circles that contain like fucking everything. We just put them over a hole in the ground and you have a house where everything you need is contained in your fucking ceiling. And that floor also contains everything that the people on the floor above need. And originally it's just a roof. So we're not accessing all of those utilities from the fucking roof, but some of them we are.
You just described my system. You just described what I did, except using concrete circles instead of steel hexagons.
No, I'm saying that our city would have 6 people in individual circles, individual private homes, surrounding a...
So you want something that looks...
I wasn't done.
You want, like...
I'm talking about a giant farm. Yours is not a giant farm. I'm talking about a giant farm with a regular spacing of people in the early generations. A regular spacing of people to maximize distance and privacy in the early years. If, in fact, cities become so popular, yes, we will go vertical. But when we go vertical, every new floor that we add will have 360 degrees of windows, and you have none.
So
and our windows will all have every window that we have will have a drawbridge, right? So they can be very vulnerable windows, not very expensive, because they have drawbridges that can cover them. So they're really thin, beautiful fucking windows that don't cost a lot of money and don't actually carry that much weight. Because when the weather's bad, or somebody comes near our house with a fucking stone in their hands, like named Kevin or otherwise, we just press a button and the whole thing closes.
I should hop on Blender right now and show you what the view would look like from the window of what you're describing.
You don't see much at all. Like what you would just
see these concrete circles everywhere. These concrete cylinders.
No, what you would see is what you'd see mainly is a huge amount of open space, right? And you'd realize that you're in a house that is a member in 3 different properties. Let's say 6, actually 6 acres, right? You're a member, an equal member in 6 different hexagons of empty property, and the people that administer those properties, depending on how close they are, remember they have more power, they will do with those hexagons, and there's 10,000 of them in a university. So whatever they want, like some of them, many of them will be farms, like farms where the people who live there like go out and listen to music and meditate while communing with the fucking farm, and of course it'll be organic. Like, some of them will be sports fields. Some of them will be models of your community. Like one of them will actually have a model of your community in one hexagon. Like, the whole hexagon will be one of your things. Because you're not going to resist us, because you won't succeed before us, and you probably won't succeed unless we succeed and win billions of dollars of Alex prizes. The one way you can build this thing is to win Alex prizes, in my opinion. And that's the truth, in my opinion. You want to build a $1 billion or $3 billion building, you need to win a ton of money from a genius. I'm not saying you're not a genius, but you're not a genius. You're just very smart.
Okay. You could work with me instead of against me.
I'm not working against you. I'm working on my own shit every day. I've been working for 70,000 hours. I'm not into your design on that level. I like it, it's cool, you're my friend, but that's not my life's work. I'm 70,000 hours in something else, which was originally called Democracy with a Z. It's a systematic thing, not an architectural thing primarily. Architecture is not just the fucking buildings. You're creating a situation when there's so many neighbors that are so close that it breaks the AI every time it tries to find living arrangements, because who your neighbors are matters a fucking lot. And if they're too close to you, I think it all gets destroyed. Energy is real. The disturbance of the universe's energy that will occur inside of your fucking brilliant little prison city is considerable, in my opinion. It may be undoable. It may drive everyone crazy. You may be making the cuckoo's nest. And you're trying to compete with the silent knighthood. Like, you're trying to compete with the silent nightclub, which is fucking brilliant and has almost no drawbacks. Instead of saying, why are you working with me? Why aren't you working with me? I'm older than you. I'll do what Chepa does. I'm bigger than you. I'm not. I'm faster than you. I am. And I'm better than you. I'm the best person I know that I know that I know. That's also pathetic, but it's true in my opinion. And I'm
Do you ever feel that you're
my
a bit
opinion generally
egotistical, rough around the edges?
Can we change the music?
What's that?
I didn't hear what you said. What? Rough around the edges, what?
A little egotistical?
I'm an narcissist. I'm narcissist. I'm the fucking god of narcissism. We're great. You're not behaving that way, and you try harder than most people. You're out of the shell, blah, 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 but, like, you got your own trap. The universe is the mind and body of God, and it's pretty much deterministic, and you'll probably never escape it, but it's possible, I think. If you look ahead far enough, problem is you look down, sort of. You focus so much on one city that you might be watching the whole universe fly by.
So you're saying I'm too
I don't
focused.
concentrate on... Yeah, way too focused on one big thing, but it's not the...
Are you too scatterbrained? Is that possible?
No, I have literally fucking 1,900 plus, and whatever. I don't know how many are actually unique, like you search them all on Google, and I should do that. I'll make a documentary. I'm searching every word on Google. Fine, that's a documentary. How many of them exist? A lot of them do. And then I go into, the next documentary is we go into this thing called Midjourney, right? We go into Midjourney and type in my words and get 2,024 pieces of art that are only half mine, right? Like all that work and like one program can allow that company to own half of all my creation, but not really. What they can do is use me to promote themselves and be like, yo, you know how you know that guy Alex because of all those beautiful pieces of art that came from these non-existent words? Well, we were there too. Like he needed us. I don't need them, but I might use them. Like it's just a company. It's like a country. What the fuck? I mean, corporations aren't people, but nations are.
What's that, B?
Can we change the song?
Wait, is B here?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Can we change the song, Alex?
Wait a minute, I can't hear B. You know I can't hear B because I was in Shiba's trying. Yep, hold on. Yeah, I'll just turn the song off. B, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you at all because I was recording like me and Kevin and Shiba's, and I don't record. I try hard not to record anybody else. So you were at 0. And I didn't even know.
Yeah, for the record, I was
speaking.
not in control of that audio, so.
What? I changed it, right?
Yeah, you turned it off. Yeah, but I was not in control of that.
Yeah, but I couldn't hear B at all, and that's what I'm apologizing for. That's what I'm on about. Kev, I'm gonna beat Franklin. I don't know what you're gonna do. You could be one of the most famous people in the fucking world for doing good things with your mind and American freedom.
I could.
But I don't see anybody doing that on their own. I look at my.
I never
I look at
said
my
it
friends
was on
in
my
the
own.
world.
Is that why you
Every
hate
single
this plan? Because you think
I
it's
don't
just
mean-
a one-man show?
No, I couldn't do it on my own either.
What if I told you there's more people involved?
Well, it doesn't matter. I don't want to live there. Like I've been working my whole life, and I've chosen not to dive into, at any great depth, like how other people are going to live. I am not like you in that I like space, and I think people want space. And yeah, you are right in a sense, right? If you have a concrete cylinder, right? If you have a concrete cylinder and there's another concrete cylinder 99 fucking yards away or whatever it turns out to be, like I don't know what the dimensions of a hexagon are that has 1 fucking acre per person, right? I don't know. Each of the triangles has each of the triangles is I mean I could figure it out, but out loud this high it would be very hard.
You're just describing a cheaper version of suburbia, though.
No, we're talking about a way better version of huge tracts of land all over the world that could be, you know, sustainably farmed in large part, right? We're talking about saying there's a huge commercial farm. The land is pretty amazing. And because of the efficiencies that come with your way of building, but also with mine, we can go onto the land and do really, really amazing things. We can do the same thing on the water, but it's more about the system of human beings and cooperative intelligence and like the general mechanisms infrastructurally and industrial. I just think you go a little bit too far, and and I think you make some presumptions, and you did a lot of drugs. I've done a lot of drugs too, but not the same kind all the time. So I think maybe you got a little swirled up in the psycho-delicious world and overly bonded with giant hexagons, which are fine, but I think you overrate them.
They're warehouses.
You're
just
being
warehouses.
prejudiced. Well, we build something called aware houses. I only like aware houses.
If they were rectangles, would you be more comfortable with the plan?
No, listen. I wrecked angles many years ago. I wrecked angles. I will fucking wreck creation, dude. This isn't Destiny. Sorry. Oh fuck! I need some water. Kev, this world.
I just feel that you're criticizing it because it comes from me, and because you feel the need to compete with me, and because
I say the same thing to you.
Because I'm not doing it through some kind of like communist collective that you think all good, successful ideas should come from.
Well, you're not.
And you've said this many times.
At all, unless I'm also doing it. I'm not a communist. I do believe that people voluntarily associating, like when Ben Franklin created the first libraries and fire engines and shit that people work together on, like voluntary associations are tremendously powerful things. I also believe that forecast profits, although they've brought us to this point in the development of technology, are not the future by any means. I think people will get ahead of the game just enough in time that they can operate benefitness corporations. That the extra money that they have, which in an ideal world everyone can save up something, right, or whatever, they can at least earn a free retirement. Yeah, I'm done with that whole thing. We have things in common. We want efficiency, right? I realize there's a ton of land, farmland, desert land, ocean land. Like, if you really want to do something in the world, there's a shit ton of fucking land.
Yeah, I know.
The commercial farms are pretty fucking productive these days, but it's nothing like would happen if enlightened citizens lived on a city that existed where a giant fucking farm used to exist and fly to one another's houses in electric-powered flying saucer-shaped Zeppelins at 67 miles an hour and can fly over the entire fucking giant city in like 6 minutes. Like, yeah, sure, it'll take you an hour on a bike, but like, we didn't design the city for fast transportation by land. Like, we just didn't. Like, we don't do fast. Like, the city is where we live. We don't want things flying around at high speed. We're gonna move shit, go overhead. You gotta go fast, go overhead. You gotta bring in 1,000-ton fucking lathe, fly it overhead. Like, we're literally gonna have. I am gonna pull a giant Zeppelin on a windless day into a university and by myself attach it and lower it to the fucking ground. Myself.
I am having multiple Zeppelins thanks to your inspiration. So
well, I didn't invent Zeppelins. I mean, I'm into Zeppelins. Zeppelins
you're
are
like
great.
have a giant hard-on for Zeppelins.
I think you should make a hex Zepp. You should make a what kind of hexagonal
Zeppelin?
Come up with an exact hybrid fuck production of one of your hexagons. Actually, ask your AI to combine one of your units with a flying saucer.
Okay.
Like, I think that, like, you know, it's like your shit kind of like, it's a flying saucer, but it's a hexagon. And in the air, they can connect up to each other magnetically and create like a huge floating field. Like air cities. Those are probably better for air cities, honestly.
Yeah, we can try and build that above the city. That's a good idea, actually.
But even think about trying to go in the ocean. I don't think you want big concentrated shit everywhere. You want like a floating net of tubes, which together absorbs the motion of the ocean and creates a tremendous amount of pressure per second, which is available everywhere in the fucking city. But when you're in the when you're in the ocean, especially like nearer to the water, you don't want outlets everywhere, right? Like, so we use air motors for almost all the work we do. But you spread shit out, and I think you build at the nodes. Your whole thing like takes the node, it builds in the nodes and in the intervening spaces. Like, you put stuff everywhere, which fine. Like, some people, some cities, maybe if the world gets to shit and we get another ice age, like an ice age, maybe your shit is for an ice age. You do very nice in an ice age, right? You basically build a mountain of these things and then just cover it in fucking snow.
It does very well in the Arctic, in like Canada. And
that's pretty funny. Like, we'll play a game and your city will be in the game. It's called Fort Year. And like depending on climate conditions and like what happens in the universe, sometimes you'll win, right? Like evolutionarily, sometimes my cities will be way too optimistic and they'll just get wiped the fuck out, but yours won't. The thing is with ours though, if you have 10,000 concrete cylinders spread over, I don't know, I mean, let's see, 10,000 acres. Most like asteroid strikes or the other things would hit in between, right? Like you wouldn't hit the houses most of the time, and you could crush a bunch of us, but not all of us. If somebody drops a kinetic tungsten rod into the top of your city from space, and it's only as big as this, like you're all fucking dead. Like you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Like the shock waves and the collapse of an assault by the United States upon your cities. It's like they're just like they love you. Like,
yeah.
They don't need, like you've built a bunker made of cardboard for utopians. Like you're finished.
It's kind of weak against like cruise missiles and carpet bombing. You can't miss.
Like what about magic carpet bombing? Like we're gonna live in a world. Like our kids are gonna live in a world when they say magic carpet bombing and no when they think that, right, and they're gonna be connected to a beautiful blockchain and they're gonna say magic carpet bombing and a little light will appear in their house like nobody ever said that before. Right?
It's possible.
Like our internet, Mindspace does not contain the entire internet, right? But it does have a ton of robots that leave Mindspace and do search the world the way like Google searches the world, right? We do have robots that are out searching for information. But if it says, listen, we've searched everything, our spider bots have searched everything, this combination of words has not been used, not written, not spoken, and that's what we want. We want all of the original creations that come from language, especially, to be communicated on our platform, whether kids are dictating, writing, or monologuing, or it's incredibly important, or having conversations. Like that's the point.
The topic is debating the quality.
I don't need to talk to you. It's not debating.
Yeah, this is the live stream topic.
I don't give a fuck about your live stream. Is anybody watching? And if they are, hello.
I have like 4 viewers right now.
Tell them to, if I don't get text messages from these people, I'm going to say this once. If they don't text me within the next 1 minute, we're through. And I'm not going to give them my phone number. That's insane. So we're through.
Well,
how are you going to say that's fucking rabbit holing? Like, I come up with
no one's watching.
I invent tons of shit, right? I had to protect it all myself. If there's a definitive place in the world that kids go to communicate with one another, or people go to communicate with one another, and they are citizens of it, like they are citizens of that fucking company. They're not getting a free product from a for-profit. Like they are citizens. They own a representative share of the fucking VC. And there's a place in the world where the most new creations are actually created. That's what I do. And they can put it onto a blockchain for 2 cents. Like the interpersonal file service is free. If you say something new, 2 cents. And you can come up with shit that's new, 2 cents. I think you
need to raise your wages.
That's worth $2 million. If you come up with a 25-word meme that everyone in the world loves, you never have to work again. We're looking for brilliant people because we are the creators of the patronage. Like the not-for-profit, for-profit tier, like profit tier patron agents. Like I'm a fucking patron agent. We're looking for people to support the way I was supported because they produce 1,000 times what their life cost in the capitalist measuring system, which is not completely divorced from reality. Like it does a pretty good job of measuring aluminum ingots and fucking gallons of oil. Like it's pretty legitimate in its measurement system, capitalism. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, but so why are you paying these people 2 cents per idea? What was that all about?
I'm not paying them. I'm saying if they say something and the light appears, like you just said something that's never been said before. And for long sentences, that happens a lot, right? You're like, nobody ever said that sentence before. Do you think you just said something profound? No, I don't. And the presumption is always that it's not profound and that it eventually, whether you're writing or dictating or monologuing or having a conversation, like the default is probably, yeah, you know what, we will erase this shit. Like it probably doesn't mean anything, but we're not going to erase it right away. Because you can never go back. And some of the greatest statements that ever were made, even silently inside someone's mind, like, We'll give it about 100 years, probably. Like, some things took a century for people to realize. And most of it's nonsense, I get it. But in our system, nothing is protected except for our money.
Archaeology took people a century to realize.
I was not done. Unless people actually actually take that data and put it on their own server, it doesn't mean anything. Unless they protect the data on their own personal node in conjunction with the atomic clock chain, it doesn't mean anything.
That's what I'm doing, and you're criticizing me about it.
What are you talking about? You're trying to build a specific,
something that's never been done before. That's exactly what you were just talking about.
Things that have never been done before. But I don't want.
You were just talking about how valuable new ideas were. That was your entire monologue.
Most of them are not. I said most of them are terrible, but we don't know for sure. I don't think it's going to turn out in 100 years that
it reduces fossil fuels by 99%, and you think it's terrible.
It does. It doesn't. That's insane.
Yes, it does. I prove it with algebra. It's an easy formula. It's easy logic. This is
connected.
8th grade
Nobody
math.
believes you. Nobody believes you. When Sheba says she believes
no
you,
one
or
believes
and
me.
Is nice,
it's
she
simple
will not
math.
go on she cannot go on a polygraph. What like?
I'll ask her if she can go on a polygraph.
It's a fantasy in which you get rid of 99% of fossil fuel consumption. We will get rid of most fossil fuel consumption anyways. I don't want to do it your way, and you basically call me a liar. Like, you'd rather go to the 3rd floor of
you
a
keep saying your way, like
with
it's
windows,
I own
with
it.
beautiful windows, right? So all you actually see, you dumbass, is you don't even see these things because they have diffracting mirrors. They have two-way window or two-way mirrors. So you don't even fucking see them. What you see is nature, basically.
On your
slightly
cylinders,
modified nature.
Your cylinders have two-way mirrors? Or one-way mirrors?
Like I think from a distance, when you look at them, you're not going to see into them. I think they will reflect at that distance. They will have a bit of polarization, so they will show and they're far enough away that they might appear to be like the aliens in Predator, or the Predators in Alien, or the aliens or the Predators in Aliens versus Predator, whichever one does like the Mirage thing. And keep in mind, long before we build these, like we can extrapolate I'm not done, in a virtual space to go 1,000 feet up. We can see from any height. We can build these very, very, very tall if we have to, but we don't know what's happening in the future.
So I'm dedicating myself to a brand new idea that no one has thought of in 100 years, and you just said that there's an immense amount of value in ideas that no one has thought of for 100 years. Most ideas suck, but sometimes there is an idea of every million ideas or billion ideas or 1,000 ideas that is really awesome but is not seen and recognized. If your idea is that profound, then I'm one of the people who would have voted to burn Copernicus. But I have so many legitimate objections that I can say on all the world's polygraphs and pass that I don't put much stock in your explanations for my rejection of the things you want to do. I would like help too. You can design things that you call... You think Solarina is a plastic recycling? You think Solarina is plastic recycling like you describe when I say invention? You say everything's not plastic garbage. You think Solarina, which you designed in Blender your own way, is garbage or plastic. It's Why
neither.
is Solarina better than my idea? By the way, I'm gonna put that in my city. By the way,
you spent like 1 hour or 5 hours or 10 minutes on Solarina and like whatever you did to multiply the seats and make it look cool, and spent like 4,000 times more designing a city that has some cool ideas, but I don't know if you break it all apart and grab assets that are inventions. I don't know how many there are. I don't think I've gone in the city through some of the tours and seen some stuff that's kind of cool, but I don't know if I saw anything that was like, if you touch that is a thing that by itself would sell, whether it's made of plastic or wood or steel or glass or fucking dirt or corn cobs.
So I think it's pretty powerful that you completely rejected the whole idea of algebra, deducing numbers.
That's also insane. How do I reject algebra?
You just did. You said that. You said it's bullshit that I reduced fossil fuels by 99%.
It's not that your calculations are wrong. It's that I think some of the numbers that you're actually choosing to use and the presumptions you're making and assembling them are wrong. I don't think you're making math mistakes. Like you're saying 2 plus 2 is 5. I don't think you're doing that. I think the 2 plus 2 are numbers that aren't real enough, and I think you like kind of accredit yourself as an architect and an engineer, and that these numbers are real when they're not real. You are like Musk in that regard, that you always are over promising by a significant amount, whatever. And you're not quite Musk yet, but like you do that. 99%.
I'll post the video in the video description, so people can check the algebra for themselves. I'll send it to you too.
Not the algebra. The algebra's fine, but you're jamming people in.
So the algebra is okay, and the arithmetic is okay, but I'm wrong.
You think? What do you think? Why do you think I have the several objections that I have? You think I'm the fake fuck in the world? Like I'm the sheep of the world because I have.
When did I say that?
What do you think? Why do you think it is that I have these objections? If you brought something brilliant enough, like I would stop doing what I did, probably. Like, but it's not like I don't look at it like that. You may. Like, I look at my work and think there's 70,000 hours of fucking often brilliant work at a great cost, even though I'm alive and my lungs are black, whatever, it sucks. You put, I think, like 7,000 hours into an art / design / engineering project, and if you think none of that's obsessive work, you're wrong. Like, a part of it is an obsession.
It's my hobby. Like people do the same thing with Minecraft.
What's your work? What's your work? Like, what is your work then? Like,
people do the same thing with video games and Netflix and TV. What are you talking about?
That's worse. But I don't want everyone like. I mean, it'd be fine if the world was such. Everybody had a design for a utopia. If everyone had a cool design for a utopia, they put 7,000 hours in. I think we could mix those together and find the actual thing. And like what you're doing is much better than
you just said that games. It's not mine because you said my idea sucks because it's mine. Or archaeology sucks
say your idea
because
sucks,
it's mine.
I like you more than your idea, even though this kind of behavior is shitty to me. It's fucking shitty to me.
You also didn't.
Like you cast aspersions. I say there's things in this city that I don't like, and you shit on me for it. Like that's some sheep shit, and you're too smart to be a sheep. The Pepe shit, it's sheep shit. You think it's anti-sheep shit? It's fucking sheep shit. Trump is sheep shit. It's not anti. It's anti-sheep is sheep.
You're back on Trump, dude. I haven't said Trump this whole conversation.
Anti-sheep is sheep. If you really focused on sheep, you're a fucking sheep.
I haven't said the word Trump this whole conversation until.
But you do. But he's in your videos. Your life's work to this point. The project
it is not in my
most
videos.
effort into.
We do a little trolling.
I've seen him, so I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe he took him out. Maybe it was just screams or something, but he was. Oh, you were playing
He's
with
not
Discord.
in my
Shiva taught you
videos. I don't
after
know
not
what you're
asking me
talking
for
about.
many, many years how to fuck with Discord. I don't know. You cast a lot of aspersions because I don't like some of your ideas, and you don't really want to help me. You want me to help you build something that took a tenth as long and has maybe 4% the intellectual equity that could create an advantage in the market that could actually afford building cities. And you want me to work on yours because you're you.
Yeah, you could be an ally.
I'm not an enemy,
You
but I
were
don't
on
want
the
to build
artistic
that
council
thing.
until recently.
And you're taking my business feedback, which becomes emotional personally. It becomes emotional because you push it so much, and it's not as good as you think. And I don't see any way to build it now. And if you're talking with someone else about building a game and not talking about making the game with me, which I've been trying to talk to you about for years, then fuck off. That's
He's
ridiculous.
a very successful game developer, actually.
But you don't talk. I've tried for years, and you don't talk to me.
Because you don't know how to develop
You go to
games.
some guy. You go to some guy who probably may end up taking some kernel at some point and stealing it for his successful game career. I don't know anything about games because I don't run a fucking game factory. Do you think You think it's like rocket science?
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
You know how many fucking non-geniuses have been able to delegate and hire all the different people that are brilliant that are not? Like, you think you have to be Einstein to hire brilliant people? You don't.
You could tell people what.
Like the more. I mean, you would prefer a founder that is more intelligent rather than less, but it's really more about the plan than the man. And I think my plan. Like if we had to decide, we went all in a poker game. Like whoever wins, if Alex wins, Kevin is working on what is real, like virtual is real, like for the next 2,000 hours. And if Kevin wins, then Alex works on arcology, not even monarchology, just fucking arcology still, for 2,000 hours. I'm like, my plan, I would almost do that. The problem is the odds that I have to give you. Just my legitimate observation. You claim that I hate you, which is worse than anything I've ever said. It's like worse. It's like a bigger lie and a greater inaccuracy. I don't hate you. It's fucking stupid and it's bullshit. And I don't know why you would want to stream this kind of stuff. I don't know why you'd want to put in a permanent record, like misquoting me of all the fucking people in the world. Like you talk to me like I'm them. Like there's a them. Like I'm fucking them and them. I'm done.
You don't even know how big my apartments are.
You can't wrap your head around that. I don't care. I spent
exactly,
a lot of time.
You don't care.
I spent a lot of
made
time
up your mind
looking
already.
at your videos. I spent a lot of time looking at your videos. Hours and hours and hours.
You didn't
I've
even
seen
know
some
how
cool
big
things.
the apartments are.
I've never once, I've been inside them through your tours with your voice describing your invention. I've seen some cool things. Never once, for a billionth of a second, have I thought I'm gonna like stop.
You keep saying your invention, and you keep emphasizing the word "your" when you say it. You keep saying your invention, your city. I don't want to live in your city, in your world.
Right. Well, you called it your city. You did that. You said this is my
It's a city. It's an
and I asked you about
a apartment in a city.
It's an a-hole. From some perspective.
And then you bring up Trump and Pepe like it somehow has.
So what? Who cares? You're a pussy. You can't handle me saying that you're a fan of Q, Trump, and Pepe, which to anyone watching will be like, this dude's a fucking troll or a sheep troll, even though he's intelligent. Like, it's amazing. You believe that you are, like, think about it. You believe you're free. You probably believe you're like Alan fucking Watts, right? You got it. But you're unhappy because everyone else is fucking stupid and fake. And hates you and your idea, even though it's Einstein-level invention. It's not. It's a cool project, and you've dedicated your life to it. I did not dedicate my life to a cool project.
You keep saying the word you. We're discussing ideas. We're not discussing people.
My project is hot.
What is it? What is the terminology? Small minds discuss people. Medium minds discuss events, and then geniuses discuss ideas. We're trying to discuss ideas, not people.
That's the exact quote. What are the ideas? Tell me the ideas then. Forget about
the ideas. A three-dimensional city, a three-dimensional modular city. That's the idea.
But that doesn't. I mean, you say that. I guess I am kind of thinking both.
And you keep saying your idea sucks. Your city sucks.
What does the full
Pepe, Trump,
different
and you're claiming that you have some kind of intelligence. When I'm here to discuss an idea with you.
But you have never really quoted me accurately, and you're not the only person recording, like, at all, obviously, right? Like, you misquote me constantly.
Oh, I'm recording this 3 times.
I'm not that likable by myself ranting, but shitting on someone because they're shitting on me, people like that. Like, I'm shitting on you in a way a little bit, and being a little, because you shit on me, because you say terrible things like that I hate you. It's stupid, ridiculous, hyperbole, and I don't have an unlimited amount of time for it. I've spent a lot of time looking at your thing. I say put it on the shelf and work on something else until you are sustainable. And yes, I myself am not sustainable. I also don't live in my fucking parents' house. I'm not live streaming on YouTube shitting on inventors because I'm not that happy and I want to be so fucking happy.
You are shitting on inventors on YouTube. That's the irony.
Right. I think
that's the
anyone listening to this is going to think Kevin is the inventor in this conversation. That's what they're going to think.
Yeah, I'm not an inventor.
I'm saying that's what people think. I'm not saying you're not, but they're not like I'm a designer. I've made drawings of buildings and communities too. Am I a designer in the way you are? No. Like, you spend a lot more. You spent 10,000, 12,000 hours like moving mouse clicks to design things in the real world virtually. Some of them involve, like, actual creative things that, like, even though nothing can be more than relatively original, they're relatively original. And sure, you're an inventor. If you go like this, I guess you actually could be called an inventor in a sense, or a co-inventor, just by printing out a model of fucking Solarina.
Yeah, I did that already.
But it's a model, so but it's more of, like, that's usually what happens, like, inventors who are business people like Westinghouse or something, they no matter how smart you are, they mainly just pay you to do that shit. And if they're nice, they put your name on the patent. Or they don't put their name on the patent. But really, because people can't get their shit together, like, and a lot of smart people end up, living in their fucking mother and father's house because it's so untenable to go work for some guy that's telling you what to do, and you're literally a fucking cog. Like, I get it, but we're not in the same situation. I'm in a sort of a terrible situation, but I'm also in, like, the greatest situation for creativity and prophecy writing of any person I've ever fucking heard of. And I'm not unhappy. You make me fucking emotional and pissed off relatively often because you take professional comments and you receive them personally. And Sheba does the same thing. Every so-called negative thing I say, and the truth is never negative, you take it personally. Like, all of it. All of it is taken personally. Like, your ideas are great, and if I object, it's fake. And that makes me think in my own... That's why I'm partially a little bit narcissist and not just narcissist. Because if you're calling me fake, like, if I'm fake, we're fucked.
Anyway, we hit an hour, so I think I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was fucking terrible.
B, who do you think won the debate?
Let B talk without, like, this isn't a debate. Like, I didn't get to talk really very...
I get to
B loves you. B loves you and cannot be honest. No matter what, B can't even figure out what B thinks, honestly, because B really likes you. And if I did win, that's not really contemplatable openly inside of B. But I'm not saying I did, but if I did, B likes you so much and you're such close friends, there's no chance you're going to get an objective truth. This isn't a fucking debate. We can go talk about my life's work, and there won't be any of this shit. There won't be any shit, just like now, unless you take shits. I can hear from people that this idea or that idea isn't good without saying they fucking hate me. Like I've just quit the game and now I'm fake. I'm just a troll. When you say I hate you, you've abandoned realism to be a troll. You just quit.
If someone else says,
there's no debate once you say hate. It's too fake.
Okay, hold on. Shut up. Let's get a scenario. Elon Musk says, hey guys, we should build 3-dimensional cities and use up our airspace more effectively and improve the transportation system by building in 3 dimensions. Would Alex say, oh my god, Elon Musk is a genius. His idea city is genius.
I'd say you are boring company, just like Kevin is boring company sometimes when he's always on about the same idea, and he knows someone who has a damn good chance at actually surpassing Ben Franklin and doesn't give a fuck. Because you're only worried about yourself. You don't care about the geniuses you know, except for your own fucking amusement. You keep saying the word you again. You. You said it's your city, and you came in here. You didn't ask me how I was doing.
You just said you 3 more times.
You barged in here with your friend. You barged in here with your friend B. Hi, B. Love B. No problem with B. He's the writer, right? No problem. Happy.
I'm here to talk about ideas that you disagree with, and you keep saying
do you want me to cut this video? So you lied. You started off by lying and say you were live streaming, and you weren't even live streaming. And either way, you said 2 contrarian things, and you lied no matter what. No, but you didn't say it like a joke. You said I'm streaming, and you were gonna stream, but you just said you were first, but you weren't. You probably weren't recording because you're basically an American retard.
That's the second time you called me a retard this conversation.
I'm retarded. I can say it whenever the fuck I want. You've definitely been held back. I go back in time and I magically appear and I talk to your dad when you're 0 years old, and I talk to your mom when you're zero years old, and I become your mentor. You aren't going to be this Kevin saying that you think people hate you, when in fact that probably means that you have some hate for them. I'm not saying that, but it probably means that. Like, if you see hate, it's fucking you. Like, you hate me. If you see hate, it's your hate for me. I'm not saying it exists, but I don't talk about hate. You do.
Listen to yourself. My God.
And listen to how friendly people can be with you when when they're not fully open and honest. Do you think B loves everything you've said? B is your friend and likes to talk with you. I'm your friend and like to talk with you, but I'm also like a 49-year-old writer and inventor who has been hearing the same shit from you for years. I went from 620 to fucking 2,000 ideas since I met you. And you are on the same thing, and it's more fucking crowded with designs. It's this giant
2,000 ideas.
It's trim. The whole thing's covered in like trim, like fancy carved wood Greek trim theft bullshit. Instead of focusing on what the fuck. Like maybe I'll just talk to myself. But I don't do that.
You're on the
Look at my
Artistic
videos.
Council
They're
for a
fucking
reason. You're supposed to
crazy.
make arcology better. Instead of having 2,000
Arcology
separate, distinct ideas.
Doesn't exist. And in a world when
Who
what
cares?
is real doesn't exist.
Imagine
Kev.
someone in the year 1900 saying, cars don't exist. Give up on this stupid idea. You're always focused on cars.
What? Summarize the
this,
idea again.
car
What is the
that.
main
What is
idea
wrong with
here?
you?
What is the main idea? What is the main idea? Say it again one more time. Take a few seconds and
Three-dimensional
think about it.
modular cities.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
China has built three-dimensional modular cities, and they've sucked. I'm just saying, they built three-dimensional modular cities. Like, did they have more space than yours? Sure. Did they jam shit together in a more concentrated fashion than, like, Wuhan City or whatever the fuck you call it? Like, no. You took some buildings with an interesting design, or, like, that I don't think even works for architecture particularly well, and then you jammed them together and filled them with all your creativity inside of a box that just happens to have 8 sides. Like, you created 8-sided boxes.
I have newsflash for you. You're living in a box right now. You're living in a wooden box.
Eject. But I'm not. I just work in this box on non-boxes.
Your walls are made out of chalk.
And I don't love that shit at all.
You're living in a wooden box with walls made out of chalk.
Sure.
And you have 2 windows, and one of them is covered up behind you right now.
Like fucking 9 windows. You're stupid. But like 9 windows, and it's not nearly enough. I can open and close the windows both for light and air. I work in a studio by myself on crazy shit, so I often leave the windows closed and a piece of foam with eyeballs in front of the window so I can control my own light while I create in a miserable world where people like you believe that people like me hate people like you. Like, you believe that. Or you're lying. I don't like either one. I like you, but I don't like a lot of things you say, and I don't like a lot of things you do. It's true.
All right. Well,
I like you enough that we're still friends. Like, we're still friends, but you push it hard as fuck. I'm older than you. I'm older than you, right? I'm considerably older than you. I'm, at least in my world, 1% more intellectually and creatively legitimate. And I've worked 10 times longer. You don't really ask me how you can help me. You don't.
I'm making a card game for you. I'm making your card game.
But I asked you not to, and you fucking did it anyways. I said, listen a little bit. Let's develop something further. Actually, listen. And I'll listen too, but you also...
I'm focused.
On whatever you get obsessed with, you're focused. Most of your work is obsessive, and if I were in your position, and I wake up tomorrow and Alex isn't there, it's all over. Like, I think I'm the most important person in your world by far. I think that for most of my friends, because I think most of them, although they'll live halfway decent lives, will die. No one will ever know who the fuck they are. They will not accomplish much. They could. I just don't know when you consider the total concentration of vision and power in the world. I've sucked a lot of shit up into myself, or the universe has put a lot in me. I don't know if the gradient doesn't fade away a little bit, moving away from me.
That's a narcissistic.
I think, yeah, but narcissists and narcissists, they derive from narcissists and narcissism. We are great, and I know you think we're great also, but you more think that you're great and that we're not that great. I think we're all great and we're failing. You may think we're all great and we're failing, but you think I'm also failing.
What are you trying to do? You have 2,000 ideas. You have 2,000 ideas. What are you going to do with them?
I'm trying to do several things. One is which to make people understand in their own particular idiom, but successfully, what open sourcery really is. Like, what comes after open source, right? That's one thing. What citizenship is. Like, what... I don't know, that the truth is real. I'm trying to convince them that the truth is real. I'm trying to convince them that white lies matter. Like, that if you lie, you delegitimize your entire being to some degree every fucking time that you do it. You go back to zero. I try hard as fuck not to lie. And I think when people look back, with hindsight, they'll be like, part of the reason why he did all that shit is because he didn't have to hold any lies inside of his mind. Like, he didn't have to waste any calculational ability on covering for his fucking lies. And when you don't lie, which you did in this conversation, you call it a joke, but it was at least part lie, you don't give your brain permission to lie, so when you go to sleep, you can't lie to yourself. I believe you lie to yourself. All of you. And me too. I've minimized the living fuck out of it if I'm accurate. You lie to yourself and you tell other people lies. You lie. Like, I don't think you're a liar. I don't know, but you definitely lie sometimes, and you do it consciously. And when I say white lies matter, you call me a racist because all you hear is the old words. You're cannon fodder with one N. And you want me to work for you. Who in the audience wants me to go work for my friend Kevin? He's like 30 years old. How old are you? 33.
B, do you want him to work for me? Yes or no?
He's a young. I'm not talking. B is not my audience. B is a friend of mine
she's
from
the
the
audience.
server.
She's the only other person
She's
in
not
here.
my audience. Audience is not your friends.
Yes,
Hi,
it
B.
is.
Just B. I prefer Beyonce, but B is fine.
Should Alex be my employee?
Kev, you're not
I
Salt
think you
Bae.
guys would make a really good team.
Yes, there you go. She's got it.
But on that team, there's a coach, and his name is not Kevin.
I am the
Kevin,
coach.
I love you. You think I'm gonna listen to you? You're a crazy motherfucker. I think you've done psychedelics like 1,000 times.
I'm the
you are
CEO.
smart, and you're a valuable human. But I'm not listening to you. Like, I'd rather listen to the mob than listen to you. Do you understand?
I'm the D-Monarch.
Like, you're already insane, for fuck's sake, right? Partially. You're not completely
Do you know how
insane.
offensive it is to say that you would listen to a mob instead of me? I think this is the root of your
I
problem.
think I said the mob, but maybe I said a mob. Whatever.
This is the root of your problem.
If I design the Constitution, or at least I'm able to popularize the first version of an evolving Constitution, and that's
why
the
don't you
mob,
write
I
one?
don't know.
You should write
If
one.
it's my mob, well,
You
partially
should
because
write
of the
a
negative effect
Constitution. No, hold on. You should write a Constitution and fill it with puns. Like, saturate it with puns.
A punstitution. Yeah, I'm not a punstitutor.
And then also make sure it's like crappy and socialist.
I'm not a constitutor. I'm a prostituter.
What's your
I'm
rates?
gonna
How much do you cost?
make prostitutorials. My posture is preposterous.
Only
It's been done,
fantastic.
No. Kev, you could have so much money. That's the thing. Like, you could be as rich as my cousin by now. You could have $50 million. But you work for yourself, and you're an American, well, don't take this wrong, bitch, right? Like, you're like an American bitch. Like, you grew up in America where everything was fucking free in a blue state, right, in the suburbs.
Everything
You're a
is
bitch
free for
compared to, like,
you, not for me.
99.9%. See, I'm more of a bitch, but, like, I'm in the sweet zone, right? I'm in the habitable zone of being a bitch.
What do you mean everything's free? Nothing is free.
You just, what?
I have to pay
you're
for
like, for like
things.
15 years, 18 years,
I don't
20
have
years, whatever the fuck
privilege.
it was. I bet you pay a ton in rent and for dinner. Like, I bet you're just pouring the money out. I bet, like, you're I'm just saying, you should think about at least getting into a space like me. At least getting into your own fucking place, using your work to make a little money, at least to get your own place and see what it's like to actually have privacy. I think you might, like, I don't know, I assume you get along with your parents pretty well, but, like, do you really want to live around people? Or is that a bit of a lie, maybe?
I love having
Company, fine, but company visits, they don't live on top of your house, like, unless you're in a big fucking city where it's necessary.
What's wrong with that?
I think it's just, like, the totality of it. Kev, you're like a chicken with its head still on.
I don't get it.
I mean, you're not as bad as a chicken with its head cut off. But you're like, as compared to what it takes to build Universe City, you are like a chicken. Like to actually build something with the kind of, even the 3,000 years you're putting in, like, you're about as likely as a chicken to build a city. I might be as likely as a dolphin. Like, I wouldn't do it if I was likely as a chicken. And I'm telling you, worry about yourself first.
Okay, anyways, this isn't going anywhere, so I'm gonna wrap up the live stream.
It never goes anywhere. It's always me reacting to your shit because you don't ask that. You ask for help.
You're just
from an
trash
older...
talking me. You're not even talking
I'm
about
not.
the
I'm
idea.
an older man, and you don't talk about my idea. I got 10 times the work. You don't.
It's my
really
YouTube.
fucking
What
ask.
are you talking about? Why would I talk about
What
your
is
idea?
your YouTube? Nothing is your YouTube. No one like your YouTube. This isn't. I mean, it may be for you listening. This may be fucking YouTube. It's not his YouTube. It's not his city. This whole Kevin focus thing is annoying and shitty.
Now
you're not the center of the universe.
You're just repeating me. It's not my idea. It's not my city. You're finally getting it, Alex. Good for you.
B.
She's sleeping.
B. Help B. Help me, B.
Anyway, that's it. B, who won? Real quick. I'm ending the live stream.
B,
Huh?
you gotta tell Kevin at some point that there is a real chance that even if he has the most brilliant design in the world, that doesn't mean he should die trying to build it. Right? Like, you can't just invest, like me, I will die trying to do what I do. Even if I fail, I will die trying. I do not advise that to Kevin. Kevin, your shit is not at the fucking scope that you should die for. It's a city that's cool. That is not architecturally sound in the way you think, as far as I can tell. But, like, you don't die for something like that. It's just 7,000 hours. You've developed yourself as a person. Forget about Trump. Forget about Pepe. Forget about Q. Forget about this fucking city. And make $1 million as the brilliant guy you are. Stop asking me for
I'll
fucking
do that
help.
tomorrow. I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow, Alex.
Sounds real. Sounds genuine.
I'll get right on that, dude.
Genuino.
I'll make that
You're a
million.
genuiner. Hang the fuck up.